Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to Culturalist Theory, top 10 R&B albums of the 2010s, male edition. 2010s. Obviously, you gotta put this little fucker right here. We gotta add this little fucker right here into the mix. Sadly, nigga shooting at the women's. Nigga shooting at the women's.
I'm not fucking with it.
Yeah, we got this whole ass nigga over here shooting at the women's and shit. Then we got the we got the man himself.
What up, my nigga? What up, my nigga? Big ups, my nigga. We up, my nigga.
We got him up in here, and then we also got Usher. I'm trying to think who else came out in the 2010s. Usher, Bryson Tiller for sure. Definitely got to put Bryson Tiller in there. If you want to throw Ty Dolla $ign in there, you can. Ty Dolla $ign did have that one album in 2015. That I ain't gonna lie, that one album he had in 2015 was pretty solid. But Chris Brown should be dominating this. Chris Brown should mostly be dominating this. Usher had one good album in here, I will say. He had one good album in here, but for the most part, it's all Chris Brown from here. It's just Chris Brown's the GOAT. Come on, bro.
What's up, theorists? How we feeling? QB, your R&B bae in the driver's seat for yet another classic. We've heard a lot of talking points lately. Is R&B?
Oh, bro, how can I forget Bruno Mars? Bruno Mars. Shout out to Bruno Mars, man. If they gonna consider him R&B, I would say he's R&B, but a lot of people don't consider him R&B. But I digress.
Be dead? Is there a king of R&B? What, if anything, is worth checking out? Here we're putting all of that to bed. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a single episode. Leave a comment telling us what you want next, and drop your opinion.
I forgot about The Weeknd. Fuck! I forgot about The Weeknd. Yeah, Weeknd should be running this shit too. Chris Brown, Weeknd, and Bruno Mars should be top 3.
See how ours stacks up. Here are the top 10 R&B albums from a male artist in the 2010s, starting with number 10, Lucky Daye, Paint It. Even though his debut album came as recently as 2019, Lucky Daye, David Brown on the birth certificate, has been grinding in the industry since 2005. He didn't make it far after reaching the top 20, but our favorite crooner from the Big Easy made an appearance during American Idol's 4th season. That was the season Carrie Underwood won, by the way. Daye, like most artists in his position, got traction going by snagging writing credits for artists like Neo, Ella Mai, Trey Songz, and Boyz II Men. Fast forward to his deal with RCA and Keep It Cool Records, and his first single would be Roll Some Mo. Talk about a lucky lottery ticket. In addition to his breakout single, the track list would also sport heavy hitters like Paint It, Misunderstood, Concentrate, and Love You Too Much. From start to finish, the project is well-rounded and cohesive in ways that only an industry vet could pull off. Outside of 2 or 3 songs though, the majority of the album falls behind in the impact department. Vocals and songwriting aside, Luck has to have one of the most successful rebrands in modern day music, not just R&B. We know he hadn't put out much music of his own prior to the 2 EPs that would comprise Paint It, but if you had told us one of the genre's biggest and brightest talents was closing in on his 40th birthday, we would have completely blown that parlay. Call it genetics or call it luck, whatever it is, Daye's got it in droves. Number 9, D'Angelo and the Vanguard, Black Messiah. If D'Angelo dropped Once in a Blue Moon, we'd have way more music from the Richmond native. With his 3rd album coming 14 years after his acclaimed sophomore effort Voodoo, the former Soulquarian assures listeners that his absence was of his own accord, not a dry spell. Drawing comparisons to funk pioneers Sly and the Family Stone, when there's a riot going on, D'Angelo, along with fellow musicians like Questlove, Roy Hargrove, Pino Palladino, and Isaiah Sharkey, keep the bass line front and center, minimizing the need for theatrics like featured artists, flashy samples, or oversaturated vocals. The album performed well commercially, But if we're being honest, that's besides the point. In a soundscape that saw established acts like John Legend and Chris Brown competing with up-and-comers like Party Next Door and August Alsina, D'Angelo.
I forgot about August. Shout out to August Alsina. I can't forget about Mr. Entanglement.
My Heart, Really Love, and The Charade are proof that the greats of any era will be great in every era. Don't let the album's relatively low ranking distract you from the fact that this is arguably his weakest offering. Let's just hope it's not another 14 years before we get that fourth LP. Number 8, John Legend, Love in the Future. Disclaimer, we easily could have called this 10 R&B classics from the 2010s. No losers on this list. If you've seen our JL albums ranked, then you know how fond we are of this project. Honestly, this listen only...
I don't really fuck with John Legend like that. My John Legend listability stops at give me the green light, give me just one night, I'm ready to go right. That's when my John Legend listability stops. Listen, if it ain't Ordinary People or it ain't I'm calling, maybe I'm selfish, out to you're my ladies and I can't. If it's 1, 2, 3, that's it. Anything else after that, you can miss me with John Legend. Sorry, I just can't get jiggy with it.
Made us appreciate it more. It's true that Love in the Future sees Legend standing at the pinnacle of suave and sophisticated R&B. On this list, however, he's more or less breaking even. The production is lavish and his vocals have always been velvet, but within his peer group, you could argue he took the least amount of risk. Still, that tried and true method yielded gems like What If I Told You, Aim High, and Hold On Longer, not to mention some of the biggest hits of his career with All of Me, You and I, and Who Do We Think We Are. If the decade is known for nothing else, let it be remembered for innovation. Rarely have we seen the boundaries of a genre be reimagined over such a vast spectrum, as you'll see when we get deeper in these rankings. Number 7, Tory Lanez, Chicks Tape 5. Nah, we won't be putting anything on his JPay. We do have to give Daystar his flowers though. He outdid himself on the 5th installment of this series. From Ashanti on the cover and character intros to the sequencing and the strange feel of an iPod click wheel on our fingertips.
I ain't gonna lie, this was a banger though. But you still out here hurting the women's. We can't fuck with that. You must be violated for what you have done, sir.
If you fuck with me one more time, you do. And I don't care about none of it, nigga. I'm a real nigga, boy. I'm a real nigga, boy. I'm a straight nigga. I don't need none of it. I'm gonna give you one more time. And you do. One more motherfucking time, you do, bro.
I'm saying though.
I said, damn bitch.
You must still be violated for your actions, sir. We not just gonna let that slide, brother. You out here hurting the women. You shooting at the women. You shooting women's in the feet. In the feet. You can't be shooting women in the feet. I know it's pronounced feet. I know feet is plural. But remember when Megan Thee Stallion first said Tory Lanez shot her, she said, he shot me in both my feet. That's why we call it feet, because of Megan Thee Stallion. Tory shot me in both my feet. I'll never forget that shit. I said, oh, you a dumb bitch. You a highly educated, bad, dumb bitch, huh? Feet. As feet is not plural. This is first grade phonics. Oh my god. Some of y'all need hooked on phonics, man. Some of y'all niggas really do need that shit, bro. I never really thought niggas needed that shit because niggas wasn't really fucking with that shit. But apparently some of y'all niggas should have been hooked on phonics.
Tips, Tory drops listeners smack in the mid-2000s. By featuring the original artists on their re-envisioned songs, Lanez reaps their collective replay value with none of the guilt. With the exception of Jerry Sprunger, we feel pretty comfortable averaging these songs out to be maybe 75% of their original quality. But this perfectly curated 2000s playlist was bound to make the ranking despite not being at full strength. Suffering the exact opposite problem of Legend, we'd argue what the tape gained through creativity, it loses in substance. Regardless of how you feel about the album's sampling or his blend of hip-hop and R&B, it's clear Tory is a student of the game. Check out The Cry, A Fool's Tale, or Room 112 if you don't believe us. Number 6, The Weeknd, Beauty Behind the Madness.
Yes, sir.
Oftentimes, an artist's best work and their best-selling work are one and the same, i.e. Purple Rain, The Eminem Show, and Confessions. While Beauty...
Don't ever put Eminem in the same sentence with The Weeknd. Fuck out of here. Don't ever do that shit again. Don't ever do that shit again.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
Don't ever put Eminem in the same sentence with The Weeknd, bro. Fuck out of here, dog. But most definitely, this is a goated ass album, dog. Let's give it up, man.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Shout out to that nigga. Shout out to that nigga The Weeknd, man.
Behind the Madness has a comfortable lead in the sales department. Fans of the channel know we have it in the middle of his catalog. Still, the bronze medal isn't a slight, but it's good enough to earn you a spot among the decade's most distinguished. If we were just focusing on the highs of the project, the album would have a shot at cracking the top 5. There's not a lot of albums, R&B not, that house 2 Hot 100 chart toppers. But while the highs stand out for being some of the most recognizable hits of the 2010s, the lows of the album don't even feel like they come from the same artist. Losers, featuring Labyrinth, In the Night, and Angel all embody the term skip. Despite them being few and far between, these smudges on an otherwise spotless track list made this one a no-brainer. No, you won't be seeing any more Abel on here. The 2 projects we put above Beauty dropped a little too recently. We'll leave a link in the description so you can get caught up with where we rank the rest of his discography. Let us know down in the comments, how closely do you adhere to genre labeling? Because Apple Music not only lists all his projects as R&B, but they have him down as an R&B artist. Weird considering The Weeknd's grasp on pop was only rivaled by Taylor Swift, but that's a video for a different day. Number 5, Miguel, Kaleidoscope Dream. Quiet as it's kept, Miguel's 2010s.
Hey, I hope we putting Frank Ocean on here. I hope we not just gonna leave the brother Frank Ocean off this list. Frank Ocean definitely deserves a nod on this list as well. If we gonna put Miguel on here, but definitely Frank Ocean for sure though.
Run was one of the most dominant yet underrated we've ever seen. Through his fusion of funk, R&B, and alternative genres, Miguel cycles through sex, alcohol, and psychedelics, Hollywood's 3 cardinal vices. If you're looking for a weakness in his game, you won't find many.
How many drinks will it take you to live with me?
Are just calling cards for him at this point. The dedicated fan in us
good.
would have wanted to
Can
see
the
him
party,
perform
but I
songs
don't
without
want
the
to
track
waste
list,
no
but we
time.
understand that less is more in this instance.
Back
That,
of my mind,
combined with the
I'm a
songwriting
kid,
present on the rest of this list, keeps Kaleidoscope Dream from climbing any higher in our rankings. We're sure that by now, everyone has heard hits like Adorn, How Many Drinks, and Do You, but don't let album cuts like Pussy Is Mine, Don't Look Back, or the title track fly under.
Tell me that pussy is mine, girl, 'cause I don't wanna live. That's much. Hey, put that song on when you about to get ready to, you know what I'm saying, you getting ready to clap them cheeks. When you getting ready to clap them cheeks, you know what I'm saying.
I love you.
Put that motherfucking, tell me that the pussy's mine, girl, 'cause I don't wanna know. Bro, tell you, put that on, I'm telling you. It's on to the break of dawn.
I love you. I love you so much, Jody.
Your radar. When comparing this project to All I Want Is You, you can hear Miguel exercising creative control he probably didn't have on his debut. It's this blend of experimentation and commercial ambitions that make Kaleidoscope Dream what it is. But if you're a fan of the more abstract, freehand approach to making music, then his 3rd LP, Wild Heart, is definitely the one for you. Number 4, Daniel Caesar, Freudian. Why this black man from Canada decided to title his debut album after an Austrian neurologist from the 1800s, we couldn't tell you. But if you ask what all the fuss was about, well, we could shine a light on that. After building a following through 2 warmly received EPs and the lead single with Caliuchis, breathing life into a genre that was already teeming with competition, Caesar dropped a body of work the likes of which we had.
This might be fire, but I ain't never heard of this nigga. Who is this? Who is this? I ain't never heard of this nigga. Who this, man? Who this nigga, man?
You freaky ass boy. You freaky ass little dude. Yo, freaky ass on my Uncle Grave.
Who this nigga, man? Get this nigga the fuck out of here, cuz. Who is he? What he do, man? We ain't never heard. I ain't never heard of this nigga, man.
And I started thinking to myself, man, what did he do to make them niggas that mad?
No, sir. Not me. This is rock. I can't get jiggy with this shit.
Man, I ain't never heard of this nigga, man. Get this nigga on up out of here, cuz.
Never heard before. Being described as a blend of R&B, neo soul, and gospel.
I ain't never heard of this nigga, man.
The term transcendental R&B would be much more fitting.
What hits he got on the radio?
Absolutely zero.
Let me know.
Somebody
gonna be in the comment section. You don't even I don't give a fuck, bitch.
Songs like We Find Love, Blessed, and Take Me Away, back to back to back, we weren't ready to cut to the credits. Unlike the other artists we've mentioned, Caesar didn't find immense commercial success waiting for him on the other side of his breakthrough effort. Debuting at a modest 25 on the Billboard 200, Caesar netted the 4th lowest placement on the list. Lucky for Daniel, however, album sales don't always equate to love during award season. He would earn a nomination for Best R&B Performance at the 60th Annual Grammy Awards, Forget You, losing out to Bruno Mars's That's What I Like. But our boy wasn't finished. He would spin the bin at the 61st Annual Awards, winning this time for Best Part, His Duet with Her.
I'll just
Daniel would
play.
land himself in some hot water after going on IG Live to call out the unfair treatment of whites in the social media sphere. So we're not sure if it was perception or performance that saw his
and he a sellout too?
Study 01 getting run of the mill.
Wait, so he a sellout too? You a dark-skinned brother with a sellout? Oh no. Industry plant that failed miserably. Oh my god.
Reviews. Come to think about it, we might understand where the album title came from. Before we unveil our top 3, we're gonna give a quick shout out to artists or albums that just barely missed the cut. Breezy is certainly one of R&B's most consistent and
How does Fame not be? Oh my god. Ain't no way.
No, sir. Not me.
How Breezy came back with the bang. I know there's better. I know X is considered a better project than. I know some people consider X a better project than Fame, but how, bruh? Come on, dog.
Get up!
Come on, dog. Get the fuck out of here, dog.
Hey, boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
There better be a Chris Brown album on here.
Commercially viable faces, and Fame and Fortune are both pivotal works. However, the hold that pop and EDM had on him at the turn of the decade keep us from labeling either as R&B albums. The St. Louis native is often hurriedly ushered into the hip-hop genre, similar to Tyler when he won for Igor. The difference with Smino being he's one of the most versatile musicians we've come across. Black Swan might be labeled as a hip-hop album, but we don't really see a problem slapping an alternative R&B title on it. Check out Wild Irish Roses, Glass Flows, and Amphetamine if you're still confused. Drizzy's second in command at the OVO camp advanced the genre leaps and bounds throughout the decade. Including his contributions to Drake's projects, his first 2 albums were in serious contention to make this ranking, especially Party Next Door 2. There's just too much competition and not enough spots. Number 3, Anderson .Paak, Malibu.
Okay, I'll let this one go in. I'll let this one go in there. This one, most definitely. Anderson .Paak, most definitely.
Paak's influences range from Stevie Wonder and James Brown to The Roots and Prince. When rummaging through Anderson's catalog, you'll quickly find yourself transported to different cities around California. If that makes Paak the unofficial ambassador to the Sunshine State, then it's safe to say he has sold us on Malibu. A melting pot of R&B, funk, hip-hop, and neo-soul, Paak's 2016 LP has more flavors than Baskin Robbins and more hits than Motown in the 60s. Alright, we were only serious about one of those. We don't really have any changes we would have made to the final product, but while getting this ranking together, we found out that Madlib was a genius behind the boards on The Waters, while Ninth Wonder, High Tech, and Kaytranada also notched producer credits. We know it's an R&B ranking, but it's that attention to detail that puts such a buffer between Pac and 98% of the artists that dropped throughout the decade. Our personal favorite off the album, lead single The Season Carry Me. Most replay value? Gotta be Heart Don't Stand a Chance. Most underrated song? That's a toss-up between The Waters and Silicon Valley. The point being, you could ask 16 questions about this album and the quality of its songs, and we're sure you'll come up with 16 different answers. Doesn't
Pretty
matter
much.
what you're looking for, whether you prefer
Really
production
good
or
album. Really
songwriting,
solid album.
consistency or versatility, influence or originality, every detail of the project ties into Pac's masterful creativity. Illustrating details of Malibu our imaginations would never dream to take us. Number 2, Sir, Chasing Summer. The decision between 2 and 3 wasn't just the hardest of this ranking, but one of the hardest we've ever made on this channel. Where Pac finds himself a jack of all trades with music for every mood, Sir has circumvented the need for 50 Shades of
Bro, who is these niggas, bro? Who is these unheard of ass niggas, bro?
Really, nigga?
Who is these unheard of ass niggas, bro? I'm just saying, dog. Who is these unheard of ass niggas, dog? Come on, dog.
What more do you want from me? You what?
I'm just saying, dog.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Oh my god, bro.
R&B, instead opting to epitomize the genre's more sensual and seductive side. Breaking out later than most, Third Time was a charm for the Inglewood native, his second LP with Top Dawg. As a show of good faith to their patient and devoted fans, the label spared no expense. Features from Lil Wayne, Smino, Jill Scott, and Sabrina Claudio accentuate the album like a tailor-made suit. It also doesn't hurt when you have Kendrick on the opener, his most prominent label mate at the time. Put the album's first 5 songs up against any 5 you can think of, we're sure you'll see why it's a runner-up on this list. It's not even an exaggeration to say the album's so good it's bittersweet. Yes, the LP introduced him to a much broader audience, the kind of audience that sees a lot of Lucky Day, Smino, Ari Lennox, and Masego on their Spotify rap. It also had the polarizing effect of casting an inescapable shadow, the kind that makes his older work obsolete and his newer work underwhelming before even hitting our streams. We're talking about perception, not reality. If you're the kind of consumer that saves the best for last, however, get caught up in his other works and circle back. You'll thank us later. Number 1, Bryson Tiller, Trap Soul. Facilitating a seamless blend of
I understand. I understand. I ain't even mad at it. I understand. But no Chris Brown, though. Just saying, dog.
hip-hop and R&B, Tiller's affinity for melodies and trap drums sprouted a whole new subgenre. Blurring the line between the two in perpetuity, now every rapper wants to sing and every singer wants to rap. We can trace this lineage back to Drake on Take Care, Ja Rule in the 2000s, or even LL during hip-hop's golden age. While their contributions to Griffey's debut are invaluable, it's worth noting that Trap Soul is the only album to appear without any features. Currently sitting on triple platinum, its 3 singles are collectively closing in on 20 million units sold. Looking back at Tiller's impact and legacy, we're both baffled yet not surprised in the slightest to see him on the outside looking in on superstardom. Trap Soul's impact on R&B can be likened to Steph's ushering in of the 3-point era, yet Tiller's staying power is a lot closer to Linsanity than a Warriors dynasty as a whole. Give it another 5 to 10 years, we believe any holdovers will have to acknowledge Trap Soul as R&B's most recent Illmatic interpretation. In true Illmatic fashion, Tiller didn't immediately catch fire with his magnum opus either, so we can forgive the project being overlooked when the Academy made its rounds. Fun fact, 5 years after the album's release, Tiller would roll out a deluxe version. He claimed these cuts weren't good enough to make the finished product, which wouldn't have caught our attention had he not been talking about Self-Righteous. We're talking about a Janet sample that could rival Poetic Justice, by the way. Definitely would have been one of the
Self-Righteous. Y'all don't. Hey, Bryson Tiller had 2016 in the truck hole, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you, bro. Bryson Tiller had 2016 in a chokehold, nigga. It's not even up for debate, nigga. The hose was going, bruh. Put that Bryson Tiller on the hose is going, bruh. It's not even up for fucking debate, dog. For real. That's why I said I'm not even mad at this being number 1. I'm not. Because this nigga had a whole year in a chokehold, bro.
coldest cuts on the album. Alright theorists, you ain't gotta go home, but you can't stay here. As a matter of fact, on the screen there's another video you can check out right now. Get active down in those comments and tell us what your top 10 looks like, who or what are we breaking down next. Most importantly, if you've never seen the other side of that super thanks button, we highly
Alrighty, man. But anyways though, that's just gonna about do it for this one, man. I can't I ain't really fucking with the list. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I ain't fucking with it. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't.
Hick, need some napkins, you feel me?
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry, man. I wasn't thinking about it. Man.
You know what I'm saying? I would spaz out. You know what I'm saying? I would spaz out.
I'm about to show my ass.
But I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet. I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet for y'all.
I'm not fucking with it.
That's all I'm gonna say. But anyways, though, that's just gonna about do it for this one. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. I'll get back to you till then. Peace out.